The President of the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation, Mr. Vinay Nasi, board members of FCEF, Chief Executive of FCEF, Mr. Kameli Mbatiweti, Cabinet Ministers and Assistant Ministers of the Government of Fiji here today, Captains of Industry, and by Captains of Industry I mean men and women of the industry, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Isambula Vinaka, and a very good evening to you all. Having spent most of my professional career in the private sector, I speak with conviction when I say that rebranding is a reason to celebrate, but also to appreciate the contribution this 62-year-old organization has made in Fiji. I would like to commend FCEF for its active contributions in empowering MSMEs, for example, in both the formal and informal sector. And your contributions, by the way, have gone a long way to capacity building and training in partnership with the Fiji government, and holds high place for MSMEs to seek potential to market access. Recognizing our shared interests in the MSME space, the Ministry's Young Entrepreneurship Scheme, a form of a grant, fittingly provides a platform for budding MSMEs to further their entrepreneurial journey. Surely, the private sector is the engine of growth. And for an economy such as ours, the voices of businesses must be heard. So I thank you sincerely for being the conduit for these businesses. And as a link between the public sector and the private sector, we know FCEF will remain a close partner in creating solutions for our country. To the FCEF team, your contributions and commitment to Fiji grew from 21 businesses in 1960 to a stronghold of 500 members today. And I am optimistic that the numbers are sure to increase in the near future, in synergy with your refined strategic direction, which we will unveil this evening. As a member of the Tripartite Forum, FCEF has been involved extensively in a lot of work in the areas of labor laws and the development of national and occupational health and safety, with its members in the ERA Advisory Board, or ERAB, National Occupational Safety and Health Advisory Board, or NOSHAB. It would be remiss of me if I do not mention FCEF's contribution as members of statutory bodies and tertiary institutions to the development of tertiary education and skill development in Fiji. Your critical advice has been valued and represented. As the Minister responsible for MSMEs, I am particularly proud for your foresight in the inception of the Women Entrepreneurs Business Council, WEBC, and the Young Entrepreneurs Council, YEC, which has given light to the needs of MSMEs. The WEBC has been a beacon for women entrepreneurs, with the networks of partners that have committed towards supporting its vision. WEBC has empowered women through the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs program, an excellent achievement in educating an entire generation. Thank you for conducting Bridging Gap training for women in rural communities, reaching 14 villages across the country, whilst also being active councils within FCEF. The Young Entrepreneurs Council have similarly done great work in lifting the profile of MSMEs in Fiji, and together with WebC, have extensively been involved in providing support through the ILO COVID recovery programs for entrepreneurs. FCEF is a great supporter for MSMEs and has played a lead role in the private sector-led business accelerator programs in 2019, the Fiji Enterprise Engine, or FEE program, which has supported over 150 businesses over the last 3 years, including nurturing and guiding the ministry's YES recipients, such as Mr. Winston Hill and Christopher Vanolelai. We are still experiencing the global effects of the pandemic, of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, where many businesses, households, and individuals are still weathering its impact. The Pacific Economic Update published by the World Bank has projected a growth of 15% for the year 2022 after 3 years of contraction in the Fijian economy. However, the output is expected to remain at below 2019 levels until 2024. Therefore, as private sector, as leaders, as entrepreneurs and employers, it is critical that we engage in meaningful discussions and craft solutions that will allow our nation to recover. The coalition government will continue to listen to you and work with you on strategies that will foster economic sustainability. Just before I conclude, I thought I'd just share a couple of initiatives. The Honorable President talked about the ease of doing business and our commitment. You will have noticed in the papers recently that the Cabinet has approved the formation of an investment facilitation committee, IFC for short. And its prime purpose is to start to unlock a lot of the obstacles that we are facing, particularly from the private sector perspective. It is a meeting of senior ministers that are actively engaged in challenges regarding private sector. We have all the stakeholders involved in that meeting, and hopefully, over time, you will find that some of the bottlenecks that have been the bane of our existence for such a long time will start to get unlocked progressively. The second was just to offer you a challenge. For those of you who may have listened to my maiden speech in Parliament, I had actually said that let's grow the GDP of Fiji by 50% in 10 years. So 50% by 2033. How do we get that done? It's clearly obvious. We need to work together, hold hands, join hands, understand what needs to be done. And I'm positive with the collective resource in this room and those who have not attended today, we can make this a reality. Coming back to today's event, it is imperative that the FCEF refresh lay foundations for businesses to pursue relevant support. We welcome your collective insights, as it is critical that our collaboration yields results to establish a more market-oriented, business-friendly environment without bottlenecks for the benefit of doing business in Fiji. We need continued private sector and government partnership, so let's re-explore our priorities and solutions to strengthen our working relationship in achieving a sustainable recovery. With those few words, it is my pleasure to officially launch the FCEF refreshed logo. I wish the FCEF board and the membership well and a very successful 2023.
with the founding of the Fiji Employers Consultative Association, FICA, with a goal to support and bolster the business sector in Fiji. In 1991, the Fiji Employers Consultative Association underwent a significant transformation, becoming the Fiji Employers Federation. This new name reflected the organization's mission and operations and signaled a new chapter and direction in its history. A decade later, in 2010, the Fiji Employers Federation underwent another change, becoming the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation, FCEF, to better align with its expanding focus on commerce, tripartite, and the businesses in the private sector. Today, FCEF is the voice of the private sector, protecting, promoting, and preserving good governance, free enterprise, and commerce for the economic development of Fiji.
FCEF logo, the voice of the private sector, where we protect, promote, and preserve good governance, free enterprise,